Hey everybody, Barbara here from Shafran Herbals. Today I want to share a little inside information with you. I'm going to share with you how I make my Cocoa Shea Cream, which is one of my best-selling products. It's $35 for 4 ounces. It's got 4 basic ingredients. It has coconut oil, cocoa butter, shea butter, and olive oil. And then for the light formula, we have the same cocoa butter, shea butter, coconut oil, but I use a safflower oil instead to make the consistency lighter for people with oily skin. This olive oil for today, I'm just going to make the regular Cocoa Shea, is going to use an infused olive oil. So it's infused with roses. There's going to be some nice preservative properties for the skin of roses and some nice vitamins from the rose petals that will also get infused into our Cocoa Shea cream that we're going to make today. It's super moisturizing, super protective. It's great for mature skin because it really plumps up lines. I think sometimes with mature skin, a lot of women make the mistake of using a foundation and it lays in the lines and it makes the lines a little more noticeable. If you do not use a foundation and you use a moisturizer a lot on your skin, like several times a day, you can really keep that skin looking plumper and make the lines a little less noticeable. So there's a little secret there. So let's get started. Okay, so I have my flame on my double boiler going. I'm putting in my shea butter, which is very soft. It has the consistency of cheese. And I'm going to put in my cocoa butter as well. And then I'm going to put in my coconut oil. I have this Jason coconut oil, but I've used Aldi's coconut oil. I think it works great. You can see the cocoa butter, shea butter, and coconut oil on my double boiler getting ready to melt. The first 3 oils have completely melted. It's a very watery-like texture. This is the shea butter, cocoa butter, and coconut oil. Okay, as you can see, I have removed the bowl of the melted oils from the double boiler, and I did use hot pot holders. Be careful you don't burn yourself. I have mine sitting on my granite countertop here, and I'm going to measure and add the olive oil next. Okay, so I have my oils here, my melted oils, and I'm going to add my rose infused olive oil. So what I'm going to do is I have this little sieve, and I bought this sieve actually at Petco. It's some kind of something for mealworms. I have no idea, but it's like the perfect size for straining herbal things. So I'm just going to push the oil through out of the petals and into the sieve. Into the sieve, through the sieve, into my measuring cup. I've got 1/3 of a cup there. I'm going to dump the petals here. I'm going to get some more here. All right. So I've got my 1 cup of strained infused olive oil. And I'm just going to, let me get a cleaner spoon here. I don't want any rose petal pieces in my moisturizer. And again, always rubbing all this stuff all over myself here because it's so good for our skin. So I'm just going to stir in this infused olive oil. Okay, and I'm going to let it sit on my countertop for a little while. And then when it gets to be about room temperature, I'm going to move it into the fridge. The next step is the trickiest and the hardest, and why I kind of discourage people from making this, although here I am on YouTube trying to get you to make it. But the trickiest part of it all is letting it cool in the fridge. So we're letting it get to room temperature first. Then we're going to put it in the fridge, and we're going to watch it every 10 minutes to make till it starts to get white around the outside edges. And when it starts to get white around the outside edges, we're going to get our mixer and we're going to whip it together so that it emulsifies. But that is also very tricky. because you have to get it in the jars before it sets up and gets really hard. So that is the trickiest part, and that's what's coming up as soon as we let this get to room temperature and then get to the right stage in the fridge, okay? All right, so the oil mixture is now at room temperature. So I have now stuck it in my fridge, and it's going to sit in my fridge. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to check on it every 15 minutes, and by about 30 minutes, it should be white around the edges. And so when I show you, you'll be able to see clearly what that means. Okay, so I've taken the refrigerated oils out of the refrigerator, and you can see there's that white line around the outside edge, and that lets us know that it's time to mix it together. And it has to be at the right temperature and partially solidified around the outside edge so that it emulsifies and it all stays together and we get that cream consistency. So I'm going to mix the oil, and then I will show you what it looks like. I'm just using a plain old mixer like this, and I'm just going to turn it on. I'm going to mix it. And it's going to get thicker and thicker. And turn it on. If I whip it for too long, it will get thick and hard in this bowl, and then I won't be able to pour it into my jars, which is actually going to be my next step. So we whipped the oils together. When they were cool and starting to solidify, I got them to a creamy texture. It was the texture of cream, really. It went from water to cream. There are some bubbles in it. I poured it into my jars, and now I'm going to put those jars into the fridge. And I'll check on them. It'll probably take about a half an hour, and they should get harder and thicker. Okay, so these have been in my fridge for about 5 minutes. And look at this one. This one, it's already firm and hard in this one. This one, I just tilted it and kind of, there's some liquid underneath it. But it sets up super fast once you get it in there. This one's pretty firm already too. So that's why it's really important not to over whip it, because if you do, it'll get stiff in the bowl, and then you won't be able to get it into your jar. So these will be, I'm going to leave them in there probably about a good 10 minutes more. And then I'll take them out, clean them up, and label them and package them for sale. So what is a very interesting fact is that both olive oil and coconut oil has a natural SPF of 7. And while that's not the 50 or the 20 even that most of us like to have to feel safe in the sun, it is nice to know that with the Shafran Herbals Cocoa Shea Cream, that you're still getting a little bit of SPF. Our next video that we're going to make is going to be how to make a sun care cream, and that's going to have an SPF of 25. So I hope you join me for our next video, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let YouTube know that we have some great information here. And if you want to buy our Shafran Herbals Cocoa Shea Cream, it's $35 for 4 ounces, and you can buy it at www.shafranherbals.com. Thanks for watching.